think brand standards are relevant, but I really do not see evidence of the hotel chains keeping up with the brand standards with technology. So until very recently, the brand standard of a major international 5-star hotel still had 2 analog telephones in their bedrooms because they had not updated their brand standards. One of the things which I do find very frustrating, if you look at standards, not with the brand standards of the hotel, but the country standards with regard to what designates a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star hotel. Those certainly have not kept up with technology. And the problem is in the UK, we have a 5-star standard, and there are various standards which apply to the 5-star market. We now have a 6-star hotel, so say, being built, but there are no standards in the UK for a 6-star hotel. And I find that very frustrating, that the country standards have not been updated, especially with regard to technology. It's moving so quickly. You could almost update standards on an annual basis. And with regard to the flags, the major 5-star brands, I think that they ought to be looking on an annual basis at upgrading their standards. I don't think they are, and I think it's something which maybe they could do with some assistance. I have, strangely enough, quite strong views on Wi-Fi and on free Wi-Fi. I come from the generation which says if it's free, it's probably free for a reason. The reason normally anything is free is it's not very good. And therefore, if it's not very good and it's free, you're not going to complain because it's free. I think Wi-Fi is an amenity now which should be in every hotel, which is of high quality in every single hotel. I actually believe that Wi-Fi should be chargeable in every hotel, because I believe that there is a value for it. If it is chargeable, it needs to be good, and the hotel needs to have a big pipe, because if they charge for it. So what we tend to see happening now is that with tiered bandwidth coming in, hotels are saying, and I stayed in a hotel 2 nights ago in Berlin which had exactly this system. So they give free Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi bandwidth for free was 256k. So if you just want to get your emails, it's free, and that's fine with me. I wanted to have a Skype conference. I then upgraded to the premium level, which at that particular hotel was about 15 euros. It annoyed me because during a 2-hour Skype call, I dropped out 3 times. Because of the bandwidth. So if they've got the audacity to charge me, it should at least be good bandwidth coming into the hotel. So in answer, should it be free or not? Do you know what? I leave that to the hotels. I really do. I think there is a growing acceptance of it should be free, but what you get for free is absolute minimum. Why should the guest not be charged for bandwidth demand when he's streaming or when he wants video conferencing? He should pay for that, and I feel quite strongly. So that's my view on Wi-Fi. Be in the hotel room of the future in terms of 8 years' time. I very much doubt if that's even being thought of today. I tell you one thing which will be there in the future. It's already being developed, but it is, to my knowledge, not in any hotel room currently, and that's total voice control. So I see walking into a hotel and maybe just asking the door to open, walking in, telling the television to come on, close curtains, dim lights. I see total voice control probably in about 7 or 8 years. So I guess that would be my answer in terms of that technology which I think, as a futurist, is what is going to be in the hotel room of the future. I remember 5 years ago going to Philips. Oddly enough, we are a Philips demonstration. It was my first visit to Eindhoven, where they took me around their hotel room, or their house of the future. As you guys know, and people who know me, I come from a telephony background. And one of the things that impressed me as I walked into this house, we were in the kitchen, and I made a phone call just by saying phone home, and the system dialed, and I spoke to somebody just hands-free in the kitchen. As I walked from the kitchen to the lounge to the dining room, so the voice call followed me in every room. And that was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, okay? I see that in the hotel room of the future, linked to the phone, linked to the television, linked to everything. Everything will be voice controlled. And it will be advanced so that the language barriers and everything else and accents will go. There will be a voice control for every item in that hotel room. Well, the answer to my previous question, it will be voice control. And I think this will, Philips, for example, are already working on this technology for the consumer market. So like every piece of technology, it will come out in the consumer market first and then be adapted for hotels. So it will be voice controlled. That's the first thing. What else will it be? I don't know if in 8 years' time people are going to be walking around. They will be walking around with the equivalent of the iPad and the smartphone. Whether it's in the shape and format which we generally acknowledge it today, I don't know. I believe that in 8 years' time we will still have a desire to connect our device to a room device. One of the strong points which we are faced with today is the bring your own concept of content into hotels. We must accept that people are. On my iPad, I have 2 full-length movies which I watch when I'm on the plane. If I had the ability here to connect my iPad to my television, would I prefer to watch my movies on my iPad or on my 50-inch screen in my room? Let me tell you, I would prefer to watch it on a 50-inch screen, and I believe most people would. And I believe that concept will always be with us. And I believe that the hotel rooms, especially in the higher grade hotels, always have to have the ability to provide features which are at the minimum equivalent to what the people have at home, which in most instances are large screen TVs, and the ability to connect either wired or wirelessly for your content onto that TV screen. The TV, I believe, will not go away. I think the function of the TV will change in 8 years, but I believe that in a hotel room there will still be a unit on the wall which will deliver content which the guest will either bring themselves or have access to over the internet. I believe that will still be the same within 8 years.